Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of The Week Ahead. It's another very busy week at the State House as committees are trying to rush to get their work done. You want to lead us off?
Sure, yeah, it's a very, like you said, a busy week in natural resources, a lot of work sessions going on this week to get the bills out of committee. We'll be working the chemical bill on Wednesday of this week in the Natural Resources Committee. Also, actually, there's another chemical bill in LCRED. We'll be working that bill on Tuesday afternoon. They're hoping, I think, to finish up most of their work in natural resources this week on legislation, except for the mining bill. We'll be having another public hearing on the mining bill next Monday.
Two or three public hearings.
This will be the third one, but beyond that, they should have most of their work kind of done this week in natural resources. Over on energy and utilities, same thing. They got a lot of work probably beyond this week, but working a lot of bills. A lot of the bills the governor introduced recently, they just held public hearings on, dealing with the Restructuring Act, dealing with nuclear power, so a number of those types of issues. And then also the broadband issue that's still lying out there. So they'll be working all those bills this week and in the energy and utilities probably for the next couple weeks. But you're right, they're trying to finish up their work.
They have deadlines coming now that committees have to be done. So, Linda?
Well, in taxation, they're doing LD 941, which is the tax expenditure review bill. That's going to be worked today. So we will be present at that, likely to get called up. We'll talk a little bit about that. Also on Wednesday they have 1287, the one that you testified for me, and that was to basically link tax expenditures with certain wage and hour benefits and standards. So those two bills are this week. Also appropriations is working over the next 2 weeks. They're holding work sessions on the last 4 remaining parts of the budget. You got education, DHS, tax reform, and conservation forestry. And they've also indicated that there will be a very long day on May 16th, which is a Saturday. They're hoping to kick out the budget by then, so that will be a long day for me. I'm not sure. Could be 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Lucky you.
Yeah. Lucky me.
This week in the LCRED committee, tomorrow they'll be working the call center bill, which no one's heard anything about since the beginning of the session, since it was LD9.
Yeah.
I have no idea what to anticipate. There was talk of an amendment. I don't know what that amendment will look like. There's been some stories around it, because it does link, the actions of a company with the tax incentives and business investment incentives. So it'll be interesting to see what the amendment looks like. They're all to be working a bill that deals with unemployment insurance and the waiting period for people who have 4 weeks of vacation on the books or more. There is a waiting period associated with that now. This bill would eliminate it. Judiciary this week has 2 bills that deal with expanding classes of protected individuals for hiring purposes. Last week, the LCRED committee, in their work session on Thursday, voted unanimously to kill both of the Retail Worker Bill of Rights, LD 1101 and 1217. That's good news. And on Thursday, the LCRED committee is scheduled to take up all the minimum wage bills as well as the governor's bill, putting in a prohibition that established a prohibition to not allow municipalities to enact minimum wages above the state level minimum wage. So it's a very busy week. There's a lot going on. There was one other issue and it's jumped right out of my head. Well, at any rate, it's busy. And I don't know, anything else?
Nope, that's it. Next 2 weeks are really going to be just kind of wrapping up stuff and getting them to the floor.
Yeah. Oh, I know what it was. Wednesday, Welcome Back Day.
Oh.
Which is always an interesting day in the State House. Welcome Back Day is for former legislators, sometimes former lobbyists, anybody who's worked in the State House, staffers to come back. It's usually interesting. I won't be there, but it'll be interesting to hear from you guys who we see. Yep. So that's it for this week's edition of The Week Ahead. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week.
Stay classy, man.